What is up, sister friend? Another week, another podcast brought to you by me, Emily. Now, Emily Williams, if you haven't heard, I got married. Super excited as always to be your host of this podcast, and super excited always to be here to inspire, to encourage, and connect to you heart to heart. As always, I believe you are destined for more, and I hope and pray that these podcasts continue to help you reach that destiny. I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. We are in the throes of December coming up. I can't even believe it. I once did this reel a couple years ago, and it talked about how every year in November, people are always like, I can't believe it's November. I can't believe it's November. And it's like, the comedian's like, well, that's how the calendar works. It's not April. I thought it was really funny because we all do this. Like, it's the end of the year. We can't even believe it. The year flew by. And feeling really good though at the end of this year. Feeling really good. 2023 has been a good one. And I'll probably do a couple podcast episodes on planning and recapping and reflecting and vision boards and all of that fun stuff, because those are all things that I truly, truly love and think are a huge part of my development and journey as an entrepreneur. So that will be to come. This past week, just kind of giving a recap, because energetics are a huge part of what I do, right? And I believe it's a huge part of being a successful entrepreneur. And so, this past week, what's today? Today's Sunday when this is being recorded. It was a hard week for me. I was emotionally, energetically just drained. Actually, it's been a hard couple of weeks. And it's kind of what led to what is inspiring this episode today. There has been some things going on in my life that have been really, really dark and really, really hard for me to process and walk through. And it has definitely caused some old behaviors to crop up. One thing that's super important to remember as you're walking your journey and developing as an entrepreneur is that just because you heal something doesn't mean that it's gone forever. I think that it's important to remember that you're a human and you're fluid, and that there's like a sliding scale on things. And when stress, darkness comes around, there's all of us have certain behaviors that we kind of fall victim to. The Red Devil appeared this week. If you don't know what that is, my friend Kayla, she was like, what the hell is Red Devil? Are you talking about a vacuum? No, I was like, no, the Red Devil is my period. I don't know if you guys watch New Girl, but Jess calls her period the Red Devil. And ever since, I call mine the Red Devil. So the Red Devil was inside of me. So it hit me hard this week. And I think it's because of the stress. Also, just being, truth first, been drinking more than I usually do. And that's usually a telltale sign for me that my mental health is not in the place that I need it to be. So just working on some practices to get back into the swing of things. But this kind of goes back to why it's so important to understand yourself and your behaviors and bringing that self-awareness, right? As fitness coaches, we really try to bring that awareness to our clients. And I think it's really important to remind you as an entrepreneur, you need to be constantly check yourself before you wreck yourself. You know what I mean? Because it's easy. It's a slippery slope. Because you're like, I got a lot of shit to do. I got a lot to get done. Like, I'm fine. Like, I'm working, blah, blah, blah. All the things, all the excuses, all of the justifications crop up. The reason I know this is true, because I do it literally all the time when I start to slip. This was the main reason this year in January, I went on a journey to evaluate my relationship with alcohol, because it is so easy to justify the things that we do. So that all being said, circling back here, just reminding you, make sure you're checking yourself this week. Holidays can be a hard time, not just as a person, but literally as a business owner, it can be a really trying time. So make sure you're checking those behaviors, checking in with yourself, doing reflections, because it's really important. It's really important to continue that process. And, diving in, I'm really excited. I'm ready to get my life back together. I know that sounds like dramatic, and I've talked about this motivation that I have, but I've created some lists. I've created some time things I'm going to be doing to get my workout routines in, yoga, mobility. I created these lists for different prayer times. Like, I'm really trying to be fully immersed in my practices, because with this shift to energetic scheduling and the energetic space, I want to be an expert here, and I want to hone my skills, and I want to continue to learn. So that requires a level of discipline. And I feel like my energy is in a place to do that. So I'm really excited to dive in. So you may be starting to get that renewed sense. I know there's like the Sagittarius seasons coming up, so you might dive into that if you're an astrology gal. I would say I'm not well versed in astrology, more of a human design girl myself, but definitely there's like a lot of newness with that moon. So check it out if that's something you're interested. So anywho, today, like I said, there's been some things going on in my life that's kind of brought around this topic that I want to talk to us about today. And this is kind of another, like I said before, I didn't start heart to heart to just talk about fluff. I started heart to heart because I want my heart and your heart to be wide open, to connect, to evolve, to become the woman that we are supposed to be, because I do believe we're destined for more. And you cannot reach your destiny without doing what we're talking about today. So what we're talking about today is, if you are broken, do something about it. If there's something wrong in your life, if there is a brokenness inside of you, which if you're a human being, there always is, because unfortunately, it's just a part of life. Things happen to us. People treat us wrong. We make wrong decisions. We show up not the way that we really want to in our heart. And that brokenness eats us alive. And it seeps into our bones, and it flows in our blood, and it makes us feel like we're walking around and everybody can see it. And the reason I know this is because that was me. For so long, I believed that people could look at me and just know that I was a broken person. And there's a lot of deep brokenness in all of us, right? And I share my story because I want you to know that you're not alone, because all of us experience pain. All of us experience hurt. All of us experience betrayal and all of these things, and it breaks us. And there's two sides to this, and I'm going to try to get all of this in one podcast episode. But the reason I say do something about it, because there is nothing more infuriating than seeing someone's potential, seeing the opportunity to heal in a person, and them not doing anything about it. It's just like, it drives me nuts. It like makes me crazy. But brokenness is something we all have. We all have it in common, and we all think we're alone in our brokenness. I know for so long I did. And, the catalyst to me discovering my brokenness, because at first when I was young, I just thought I was just flawed and people hated me. I really did. And I know that sounds ridiculous. I feel like it sounds ridiculous, but I really did. I thought people looked at me and hated me. Like, I went through my whole life convincing myself that for so long. Makes sense why I accepted the love that I did. And that's because things had happened in my life that caused me to feel more broken. And there's decisions that I made that I didn't love. And then my divorce was like the catalyst to my brokenness. I lost my mind when I got divorced. I really did. I basically shut it all off. If you watch Vampire Diaries, I just shut everything off. I was drinking all the time, sleeping around, making decisions that just weren't me, but I couldn't even connect to those decisions because I felt so broken. And I sobbed and sat in my sadness for a long time, because I didn't know what else to do. It was almost like I was frozen, I was paralyzed, right? Like that stress response. And then I started to do things to heal it. I started to go, I went to church, got saved, started going to therapy. I started to sign up for retreats. I started to join groups. I started to read books. It just led to all of these actions, and I discovered more brokenness inside of me, right? I discovered more shadows and darkness that were living in me. So I kept pushing to learn more about how I could heal those things, bring light into that darkness so I could change, because I've always felt, and I said this in other episodes, I've always known that I was meant for something more. Even when I felt like pissed off that like I got the wrong cards in life and I was jealous of other people, I was like, I'm meant for something more. I'm meant to do something in this world. I am meant to change lives. I need to give. I need to do. I can't just like be this like sad, insecure, shy girl who doesn't believe in herself. Like that can't be me. That can't be my life. I get one life. I personally believe we get one life. We get one chance on this planet. And I'm not going to sit here and be broken the whole damn time. I got to do something about it. And it makes me crazy when people don't do something about their brokenness. They don't do something about the things they've done wrong. The thing is, life isn't black and white. It's very, very, very gray. And people get stuck in their brokenness of like, this is the only way it's going to be. This is the only way that I am. This is, stuck in that victim mentality instead of saying, you know what, this did happen to me, but I'm going to do something about it. I can't let this be the end of my story. I can't sit here for the rest of my life beating myself up about the poor choices that I made. They're already made. There ain't nothing I can do about them now. But you know what I can do? I can go do something to change, to grow, to evolve, to become someone better than I was. And this will never stop in your life. And as an entrepreneur, as a woman who wants to make an impact in this world, you have to do this. You have to keep growing because the people that you want to help, they need you to grow. They need you to figure it out. They need you to go to therapy. They need you to go to retreats. They need you to dive into your practices. They need you to show up for your life 150% because they need you. And that is the plight of a leader. That is the plight of someone who wants to change the world. You have to keep going. I know life is hard. It is literally so hard all the freaking time. And your brokenness will convince you that this is all you got. This is all it is. Sadness and anger and just all those horrible, icky feelings that sit in your stomach and make you want to throw up. But it's not, because you know light, you know joy, you know peace, you know inspiration, you know motivation, because you didn't become an entrepreneur for no reason. No one becomes but let me rephrase that. In our space, as a female fitness entrepreneur, or someone who wants to make an impact on other women's lives, or if you help men, obviously, you've experienced some sort of brokenness, you overcame it, and now you want to help people, right? That's how most entrepreneurs are. They want to change the freaking world. And that's why I love you guys so freaking much, because entrepreneurs change the world. They change the world. They make it better because they had a problem, they solved it, and now they're helping other people solve it. But the thing is, there's some of your brokenness that is deep and it is thick and it is like just clogging up your blood. And you can feel it every day. And you feel like everyone else can see it. You feel like it's like a big old sign on your forehead that says, I am broken. I don't deserve. I am not enough. I don't believe in myself. I'm an imposter. Sound familiar? Yeah, same. Some of those things are so deep that it is stopping you from getting to the next level in your business. It is stopping you from making that next big move to make this really scary jump to make an even bigger impact. Because that brokenness wants you to stay small. It does. Wants you to stay small. You have to be willing to fight you got to fight. You got to fight it. You got to get up. You got to do the hard things. You got to say yes when you want to say no. Because brokenness is a lie. It likes to lie to you. It wants you to stay small. My whole life, I've always loved fairy tales. And maybe that makes, I don't know. I get nervous to say that because I feel like people will judge me, but it's true. I love fairy tales. I love a story where the hero overcomes the darkness. I love them saving the princess. I love when the princess is the freaking badass in the story fighting the dragon. I love it all. And I always have. And the reason why I think I always have is because I love a story where someone overcomes extreme darkness. I don't know why this is making me emotional. But it gives you hope. It gives you strength. It gives you courage, because if they can do it, so can you. You know, when you're in the midst of a story and the main character is at its lowest point, where they want to give up, they want to quit, where the world is telling them no, where their brokenness is like, don't get up. And then something bigger than themselves comes over them. They remember why this matters, right? Mostly in a fairy tale, it's like they have to save the people, the innocent people of their world. And I always hoped that I would be that person. That when the world kicked the living shit out of me, and when I'm kicking the living shit out of myself, I remember that there is something bigger than myself here that matters. And I have to stand up. I really want to believe I'm that person. And I try to remember this when brokenness seeps in and tries to convince me otherwise. I once, I've ran multiple races, and I've ran multiple races, you know, half marathons, 10Ks, things like that. And when I first moved to Colorado, the homeless population was really like, I felt it on my heart that like, I can't just sit here and not do something about this. So I ran my own fundraiser for the homeless here in Fort Collins. There's the Denver Rescue Mission, and they really help the homeless population here in Colorado, northern Colorado, and in Denver. And so I did a fundraiser, you know, on my social media, donate money, every dollar, and I'll do X, Y, and Z. And I ended up having to run. I had to do like 50 push-ups, 100 burpees, and run 7 miles or something like that. Was it 7 miles? It was like 7 or 8 miles. And it was in the winter. And to be honest, I barely trained for it. But the whole time that I ran that, all I could think about was like, this is for something way bigger than me. And this is just a small example. Like my body would, you know, your body when you're working out or you're training for something big is like, hey, we're tired. Hey, you know, you should quit. You know, hey, what if you just walk, right? But I was like, I need to do this. I need to do this. There's just something bigger than me. And in life, you're going to hit a wall. You always will. There's going to be another wall. You get through this wall, there's going to be another wall. There's always going to be something bigger than you that's going to try to stop you. And it can't just be about you. You have to make different choices. And so when you come into life and there's something that hits bigger than you, you want to be able to be in a place where you've healed or been working on healing that brokenness in you, so that you can tackle that wall because you have a bigger purpose, sister friend. Like you are destined for more. So you got to take the time to heal the broken parts of you. No one else can do it for you. You have to do it for yourself. And so that when that wall comes, when life does what life does and brings pain, you have the strength. You have the power to work through it. You may cry the whole time. I know I do when something comes that's really big and really hard. But I know that I have worked really hard on my brokenness to try and heal it so that I can face what the world's going to give me. Because it's really important, because you have a mission. You were brought here for a reason. You have a purpose. You were destined for more. And with that comes responsibility of taking care of yourself, of healing yourself, doing the things that you need to do to be the best woman that you can be. Do something about it. Please. You know, this is just one thing that I can't stand is not doing something about it. You have the power. You have the resources available to us. Most of us who listen to this podcast are very privileged. And you can do something about the brokenness that you're facing. And if you don't know the brokenness you're facing, you may be so lost in it that you don't even know any different. I've been there too. Start taking the time to learn your brokenness so you can start moving forward. Now, a lot of us have gone through some really terrible things in our lives. So make sure to seek out professional help where you need it and really get the support that you need to help you with whatever it is that you're going through. We get one life, guys. And I think just like me as an entrepreneur, you feel this weight, this responsibility to make a difference. And you can't make a difference if you aren't taking care of you. So I hope that makes sense. And if you have any questions, if you need support, you can join my Energetic Ladies group. If you have any feedback, I would love to hear it. Remember, all feedback is good feedback. And I really hope this was helpful for you today. Show your heart, make a difference. Okay. And then I still have, as of today of the recording of this podcast, my Black Friday deals end on the 30th, which I believe is today that the podcast comes out. Let me just double check. Tomorrow's the 27th. Okay. Yeah. Black Friday deals are still available. I had to do some quick, look at my calendar real quick. So Black Friday deals are still available. 15% off my energetic scheduling mini session. So I have a 3 option and a 5 option. And those sessions are to dive deep into your human design energy type, help you create a schedule to match that energy type so that you can be more efficient in your week, more productive, combat that overwhelm that comes with a disorganized schedule, as well as create guilt-free time off, because we all want that, right? We became entrepreneurs, not just to make an impact, but to have a flexible schedule. It's having a flexible schedule is the most important thing to me. And so I'm sure it is to you as well. So creating that guilt-free time off, as well as, just help you get more done in your business, right? The more organized your schedule is, the more in alignment it is with you, the more you'll be able to get more done and be more successful. So those are 15% off. As of right now, I only have 2 spots available for my energetic scheduling mini sessions. That being said, there are single session options. For those, I have unlimited spots because it's just the one session. So you can check those out as well. That the 15% applies to the single sessions. Also, my energetic scheduling 101 mini course is live. I'm so excited. I hope you guys love it as much as I love making it. This is 15 lessons on your energy type, how to create your energetic schedule yourself, and then how to, edit it, make adjustments, things of that nature. So this is kind of for my ladies who feel really good about their schedule, but maybe need a couple tweaks, want to learn a little bit more about their energy type. And then, or if you're you're not sure if you want energetic scheduling mini sessions and you want to test out what energetic scheduling kind of looks like, the mini course would be for you as well. And that is $30 off. So for that, you need to use the code Black Friday 23, all caps. So for the mini course, if you want the $30 off, the code is Black Friday 23 in all capital letters. So that discount is also still available until the 30th as well. So go ahead and check that bad boy out. If you have any questions, you want to learn a little bit more, or you're not sure, you can always reach out to me on Instagram at, I always put up the wrong finger, at, why is this so hard? At Emmyfitt, EMMEFITT. You can also watch these podcasts on YouTube as well. So feel free to check me out on there. And I hope you guys are having an amazing day. Please share this with your sister friends. And I will talk to you soon.